Hey everybody, thank you for joining me here in the den at Friendship Shaving. Now I thought, after telling you that I'd found a Stirling soap that I didn't like, I'd better actually shave with it and investigate the scent a little more on this Stirling Monday. So I'll be shaving today with Stirling's Ben Franklin. We'll come on to that in a little while. I've got my little Friendship Shaving brush from 2019 today. That is a silver tip badger. And I'll be shaving today with my inexpensive folding razor. And the blade I'll be using in that is one of these Feather Professional soft guards, and I like these. I think they're a lot more forgiving than the standard Feather Professional blade. I'm getting a very nice shave off them. They are really easy to use, and they work really well in this razor, so that's what I'm using today. Now we'll get on to the soap Ben Franklin. Now when I first smelled this out the tub, it really didn't appeal to me. I would say I've had the top off of this to take some soap out to lather. As soon as you take the top off, some of that smell dissipates straight away, and when you go back to it, it doesn't smell, to me, half as bad. So I should tell you first of all that the tongue-in-cheek description on the Stirling Soap Company website is that Ben Franklin is the scent of an older gent's pantaloons at the end of a hot July day in Philadelphia, drafting important documents with no air conditioning. They're not exactly selling it to me, and it says on the website it's quite a popular soap despite that scent, because it says that from March 2015 they had 2 to 3 inquiries a week asking why they would make a scent that smelled of an older gentleman's pantaloons. So it's been around since at least 2015. So it's obviously a popular soap. And the first idea I get from that description of an older gentleman's pantaloons was something sweaty, or even worse, something, I don't know, urine stained. Why an older gentleman? I couldn't work out what the significance of that was. Obviously something sweaty at the end of a hot July day with no air conditioning. Something musty perhaps with the important documents. And actually, that was the type of scent, whatever you're imagining, that was the kind of scent that I got from this soap when I first opened that tub. It was a real ooh. Now, as soon as I put it in the bowl, the scent changes slightly because it actually contains frankincense, benzoin, nutmeg and clove. So perhaps that gives you a better idea of the scent of the soap. What I'm getting at the moment is It's heavy in nutmeg and clove, and the clove for me is particularly strong. It is perhaps an autumnal scent rather than something for the summer, but if you like a spicy clove orientated soap, I think you will like this. And the scent changes quite significantly in the dry down. I put some soap on the back of my hand in a week, and it was interesting to note the change. So I'll talk about that as we go along. But what I'm getting at the moment is a really heavy clove and nutmeg scent, but mostly clove, which is something that I'm really not keen on. But as I say, in the dry down it is very different. Typical Stirling soap, it works well, it lathers well. It's just rather an odd scent for me. Now let's get going with this razor that I really have been enjoying. Now this blade in here is on its 8th or 9th use, I can't remember. No signs of it, you know, not cutting so well yet. I would say that these do have a very different feeling to the standard feather professional blades. There is, although I can't see it when I look at the blade, there is, I think, some sort of guard over the blade that makes it a little easier and a little more forgiving. And because of that, it doesn't feel for me quite as smooth as a feather professional, but despite that, I'm really enjoying the shave with them. I think they're very good blades. It's a bit dangerous, wasn't it? Smelling the soap on the edge of the blade. I shall not do that again. But still, I'm getting the sort of clove and the nutmeg, and from my little experiment in a week, that stays the predominant scent for quite a little while with this soap. For me, it's when the clove starts to die down that the scent gets really interesting, and you get more of the nutmeg, which is an earthy, spicy scent, and you can pick that up more as the clove dies away. You get like a sort of earthy sweetness, and The frankincense and benzoin are both resins, so you get later on a really resinous feel with this, to the scent with this soap. Benzoin is actually called the frankincense of Java, so you can perhaps see that to the old world traders they were not dissimilar in scent. Benzoin has apparently a vanilla aspect to it, and it's used by some companies as a substitute for vanilla. It's interesting that on the Stirling website, Rod and Amanda mention that some of their testers likened the soap scent to a root beer float. Now, I have had root beer, and I can really see where they were coming from with that description, because there is a sort of earthy vanilla sweetness. That comes out in the scent later on. And this all happens, as I've said, once that clove dies away. And the frankincense, similarly to the benzoin, is a sort of a woody, earthy scent that can vary. It may have a little mustiness to the scent. And I think this one certainly did. So a couple of you pointed out that I should really shave with the soap, as it was unfair just to say, "Ooh, I don't like that." And Lee mentioned that it had an interesting aspect in the dye down, and that certainly has proved to be the case. I like the scent in the dye down. It's just that initial scent of heavy nutmeg and clove, and it's really not for me, but if you like clove, you'll like this one, I think. Now, you missed earlier, chatting away, I came in at the wrong angle with the razor. With a feather professional, I would think I would have cut myself there. So these are definitely more forgiving. Great to use on a video channel when you are not fully concentrating on what you're doing, as we always should be when we shave. Especially with something of this nature. So there we are, we've had 2 very easy passes so far. I'm still getting, you know, major clove here. Yeah, very nice shave so far. Hope you are having a nice shave today. Let me know your shave of the day items. I'll be interested to know what you've used on your last or upcoming shaves. Whew. I'll tell you what this is with the clove and the nutmeg and everything else. It's a very warm scent. To me it smells sometimes a little bit antiseptic-y. That's the word perhaps. It reminds me of that. It's the clove. Been having a little sort out this week of my little display cabinet in the lounge room. I pinched a couple of shelves from my mum in her cabinet, and that's where I've got my nicest vintage razors. So I've been having a little sort out there. A little change round, trying to find room to put my Gillette toggle. Now you've seen me going against the grain there. I can never do that with the Feather Professional blade. So these, it just goes to show you that these blades really are a different animal altogether, so to speak. there we are, we're done. Now what I always do when I use this razor is to take my towel, and a dry towel, but I'll just show you on camera because it's easier. I always just strop the blade a little bit on the towel. Now I know the standard double-edged blade, it says not to wipe the blade, but I always do with these, and I'm sure that's why these blades, as well as being thicker, are more sturdy than a standard safety razor blade, perhaps last a lot longer, because there's no doubt they really do last much longer. There we are, and I've had a very nice shave today with the rather stinky soap. As I say, if you like an earthy, sweet scent that is heavy in clove, then most likely you will really love this. I had to think what I would use as an aftershave today, and what I've gone with is allspice. It seemed appropriate today with the sort of spices and the resins that are in the Ben Franklin soap to use something spicy to match up with it. Oh, and I tell you what, got Old Spice aftershave from Shilton. Oh, it's fantastic, isn't it? Isn't it fantastic? So that is my Stirling Monday. Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope that in the end I have done Ben Franklin some justice, but it really isn't for me. It's that heavy clove. There we are. I can't like every soap. It's a shame, I know, but there we are. That is my shave with Stirling's Ben Franklin. Thank you very much for joining me today. You look after yourselves. I'll see you around. Bye bye now.